Okay, so there's been a pretty terrible situation going on over at Twitch right now, including a VTuber who has been suspended for completely false reasons. Now, this comes from a company called Socks Agency. I don't know exactly who they are, but again, it seems like they handle a lot of talent. And they say, unfortunately, at this time, Malfina VT has been suspended on Twitch for fraud. Before we have even debuted. You might notice her channel is now missing. We're working on appealing and figuring out what happened. So yeah, this VTuber has not debuted yet, which is pretty insane. The account was just made obviously in preparation for everything that was going on, and now it seems to be taken down by Twitch for fraud, which has been a very common thing that's been happening lately. And I wanted to kind of dive into it because it's been happening to many VTubers and VTubers only, really. They say they go on and it says, "Hello, Malfina VT. Twitch is committed to keeping our community safe, everyone. And obviously, yeah, based on a review of your activity or content, we've issued a global suspension on your account due to the severe nature of this violation. Or the fact that you've been incurred multiple violations, your access to Twitch services is indefinitely restricted." So yeah, it seems like obviously there's no time limit on this. Obviously there's a lot of Twitch bans where it's like, oh, you're banned for like a day, you're banned for 2 days, right? This is a indefinite ban. This is, you will not get unbanned unless obviously there's some kind of rebuttal that happens with Twitch support, right? So again, that is pretty crazy, especially considering the fact that they haven't even debuted yet. Now, I don't know if there's any content on that channel. From the sounds of it, no, because obviously they haven't debuted, but maybe there was. But yeah, it would be crazy if there was. The fact that, they hadn't even debuted, they hadn't made content, and they've removed it. They've removed the account for violations in their content, which doesn't even exist in the first place, right? And obviously, yeah, this is Malfina VT. Their debut was set to be over on November 8th. It's still set to be on November 8th, hopefully. And obviously, yeah, they've been a pretty popular VTuber who's upcoming. And yeah, they've been talking about this as well. They also talk down here saying, at Twitch support, you send us through a loop options that don't exist to try and appeal this. And obviously that just shows you exactly how bad Twitch and Twitch support have been recently, especially in regards to VTubers, right? And they continue to go on to say, just to clear up some information, Malfina did not get a hype train offline. That was ad-free. Malfina did not have a surge of subs at the time of suspension. So yeah, obviously some people saying that, potentially this could be due to the fact that people were subbing and, sending stuff while she wasn't even streaming, which obviously could kind of then pop up as fraud because people would think, oh, wait, why are people interacting with this offline stream so much? This could be due to some kind of, fraud or whatever. But that is not the case. They said, she was not receiving any monetization or anything like that. And they said, I fear the influx of followers triggered the automod suspending the account. It is a possibility. So again, obviously that could also be the case potentially that, obviously a lot of people going over and following the account whenever it first kind of got revealed. Potentially that could have, triggered it to say fraud. But again, I just don't think that is the case because it's been happening to a lot of people as well, including obviously this person here called Tina the Terror. There's been many different posts like this too in response to this saying, this happened to me and many other VTubers around this time last year as well. Retweeting to boost since I truly believe that my tweet getting Twitch's attention played a big role in me getting unbanned. And also another big person who got banned recently was Runie Ruse, who we actually talked about, who also got banned for the exact same reason, for fraud. Now, I'm pretty sure from what I saw that she got her account back up, which is great, but this is during her Ruse-tober thing. This is always happening during something big that's going on, during her Ruse-tober, during Malfina's kind of debut and everything. It's pretty crazy to see that this stuff is actually still going on and that all of these big VTubers are suddenly being banned and being terminated just for this kind of stuff, which I think is insane. Now, obviously, there's been more people kind of talking about this as well, saying, I see Twitch is doing Twitch things. So I feel like I've heard things happening to multiple creators right as they join an agency. Is there any reason for this or just a coincidence? Again, I don't think it's anything to do with an agency because, again, I think that obviously people like Runie and other people like that have also faced these kind of issues. So that's terrible. And I can't even imagine how she's feeling. I hope this can be corrected soon. At Twitch Sports, Socks and the girls are really lovely peeps. So obviously, yeah, they said Twitch hates spellcasters and human fighters probably did this. So yeah, a lot of people have also been kind of talking about this. They said, Pretty sure the same thing happened here to FaZe Connect. Cleo talks about how she got it fixed. And yeah, this is to do with Runie Ruse. Cleo essentially apparently helped out Runie with getting her account back, and you know, the speculation behind it, which I think is pretty interesting. So again, hopefully, you know, they can get their account back as well, because again, Twitch just seems to be very terrible in terms of responding to kind of any support tickets or anything like that, right? These are some of the replies people have been having, saying, I'm not surprised the Twitch can be so incompetent, yet continue to abstainingly ignore these issues for so many years, especially towards VTubers who have done nothing but just merely exist, which, yeah, is true. They said, we need your help at Twitch support. An account of ours for the agency is being falsely flagged. Please look further into this, or replies to our efforts of contact, as this is likelihood of one of our upcoming members, and it affects the livelihood of one of our upcoming members, and affects us all, which is true. Obviously, Alara has also been talking about this, saying, hey, can you look into this for wrongful fraud flag? Fraud. What? I'm so upset right now, honestly. And then, yeah, that's come from Malfina, and she hasn't even had the chance to debut yet, right? It's crazy. You know, they're not even letting them have the chance. They're just kind of getting rid of it before they could even go live. And obviously, it seems like a lot of her like fellow members are also quote retweeting it and getting a lot of attention to it, which I think is great. So hopefully, yeah, we can see you know, Twitch maybe making a reply to it. But as of now, it seems like Malfina is still banned, unfortunately. So again, we will not be seeing that. But, you know, let's just take a quick look at what Cleo had to say about this, because, again, obviously, it seems like this is something that is affecting a lot of people.
And talking about menstruation. Oh, you mean the age thing? I said I'm not. I'm not some child that would be grossed out by, I don't know, the existence of menstruation.
That's a crazy way to start.
Was my point. That was my point. Twitch has banned people for worse. I feel like I have enough pull to be able to get unbanned pretty quickly. If it did happen. I think I do have a partner manager that I can just like ask. I'd be like, hey, can you like fix this please? And they'd probably be able to do it. Also, I mean, the stream title on Twitch is Big Time Cleo. Look, not to flex, but I am one step removed from being able to direct message Dan Clancy and be like, hey, can you unban me? Because I know someone who had to do that. So yeah, I know someone who had to do that and I helped facilitate it. So as far as I'm aware, I'm not gonna get banned. Also, there's a really funny, I don't know if anyone remembers. Can they unban Runie? Look, I'm trying. I'm trying. I might have to escalate it to the Dan Clancy's. I might need to do that.
The next day.
Guys, I have brilliant news, guys. I got Runie unbanned. Let's go. What is the reason she got banned? So it's basically some of the accounts were getting flagged for fraud. I think because we all have the same payments processor. Because like the way it works is that Sakna, like the company handles the financials for all of the various different the revenue streams, and then he pays us individually, right? So, you know.
So yeah, obviously that could be the reason behind it. It's very interesting, and it adds a lot of kind of interesting thoughts to it, because again, obviously it's great that Cleo managed to get Runie unbanned, and that you know, they were able to do it. But obviously it does seem like it was a very hard thing to do, because obviously they were saying the fact that, hey, I might have to escalate it to, you know, trying to talk to Dan Clancy and things like that, which, you know, a lot of people cannot do. And, you know, that could make it much harder for people like Malfina to get their account back and to get back onto things. But that explanation does kind of explain things. I don't know how Sock's agency handle their payments, and it would be nice to see if they could explain that, because then we could really get to the bottom of whether it was that problem or whether it's a different problem. Because as Cleo explains there, essentially all of the money that all of the FaZe Connect members obviously stream to and stream as, and all the money from that then goes into the FaZe Connect kind of, you know, financial, whatever you want to call it, financial part. And then obviously then that gets dished out to all of the creators, right? So obviously, yeah, Twitch obviously flagged it as fraud because they thought, you know, all of these accounts are, you know, being sent to the same place. All of the money's being sent to the same place. And they don't know, obviously, the nuances behind, you know, running a kind of VTuber agency and things like that, and how that would really work, which obviously then would cause them to be flagged up as fraud, which is something that Twitch does need to change, as this is a very common thing. You know, VTuber agencies are common, and the way that they run are common, right? So again, I do think that needs to obviously improve from Twitch there, but it would explain as to why some people are, you know, being flagged as fraud, if that is what is going on with Sock's agency too, if they are obviously dishing out money later on and all of it is going to them, right? Again, that could be the case, but we don't really know. Okay, like, so many people have been banned for this kind of stuff for many different reasons, but that seems to be the reason that Runie got banned in the first place, and it seems like it's now affecting even more people. But yeah, pretty terrible situation going on at the moment. I just kind of wanted to keep you guys up to date, because again, I just saw this and I was like, damn, you know, that sucks. There's so many people that have been affected by this at the moment. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.